This movie was so good.
It was
really, really good. I was so pleased that we're kicking off Christmas like this.
Yeah, it was a good follow-up to last week's movie, too. And I think a good precursor to the next movie that we're going to do.
2 movies in a row where a man does something completely insane and a woman finds it is totally attractive and romantic. A man makes some of the most insane day-to-day life decisions.
And a woman is just like, he is just so sweet.
So romantic.
Something you could easily imagine turning to horrific violence.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Either thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I do want to say quick before I intro the show that Julian was very thoughtful, and at the liquor store where he got me some new brews, he also picked up a 2-pack of oatmeal raisin cookies.
Yeah,
that we split
I totally
and
forgot we ate those.
Yeah,
my stomach. I was like, why is my stomach hurt?
Why do I feel horrible? Oh, it's because we ate like gas station oatmeal raisin cookies. But I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it's sitting heavy on the old stomach here, but you know what? It's just given me that nostalgia for when, I was a young boy growing up in the house from 120 Days of Sodom, and my parents, right before they got in the car crash that changed all our lives forever, they put on a plate for me the oatmeal raisin cookies, and
so
it just
nice.
it made me so happy. So I appreciate the nostalgia trip. Woo, nostalgia bomb. I just got hit by a wave of nostalgia. Let's intro the damn show. Merry Christmas, everyone. Advent is upon us. We are starting our month of Christmas movies here at Boys Bible Study. As always, I'm your host, Ash, with my co-hosts,
Scott
and Julian.
Yes. It is that time of year, and, it's completely understandable that a large fraction of Christian movies written and produced are about this most special time of year, which has not completely fallen to secular forces.
I believe in the Trump administration, we're going to have a Department of Christmas Efficiency.
Yes. Yes,
Ooh.
a Department of Christmas.
Yes.
To make sure there is a candy cane in every stocking.
To make sure that every household has one father, one mother, and 3 children in it at Christmas time.
They better give this job to Kirk Cameron.
Oh my God, he has been gunning for the part. He has been making his presence felt every day. I think it would be a real shame not to give it to him. He is our Captain Christmas.
If they made like a government mandated like Santa image, like you would no longer be able to have like a black Santa or like a Santa would have to be like a specific thing.
Yeah, but it's not the
image.
Coca-Cola Santa.
Or get fined.
Right.
Yeah.
Illegal, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it would almost be like, I wonder if it would be classified as like an obscenity law.
Yeah.
Or I can't tell if it would be like a governmental like copyright law, or it would be like a religious obscenity law.
I think it would be like fined for posting obscene Santas.
Yeah. I just think personally that you shouldn't even be allowed to depict Santa.
Yeah, you're writing death threats to Target for their new hot Santa. Have you seen that commercial?
No.
It is so bizarre because it's a series of commercials. And the first one is a very like handsome man in like his 50s, early 60s with a big white beard. He's like chiseled, and he's like driving a station wagon to a Target, and Born to Be Wild is playing, and he steps out of the car and he's got a K. Kringle name tag.
Okay.
And then he like goes into Target as if he's going to work. Why Santa Claus works at Target? Do not know. I guess that's the Biden economy for you.
Yeah.
But then there's another commercial where some shopper is trying to decide like what kind of vegetables to buy or something, and the hot Santa Claus comes by and like gives her advice.
Yeah.
And the woman's like on the phone with her friend, and she's like, "Oh, I'm talking to Santa, and he's actually kind of hot." And that's like the joke. But then also he like is leaning on a freezer full of vegetables, or like some sort of like container full of produce, and the whole thing starts getting covered with ice from his touch. So not only are they making Santa Claus hot now, which is not how he's depicted in the Bible,
Right.
but he also has
Right.
the power to freeze things with touch.
Also not in the Bible. That's crazy.
Which,
That's
yeah,
it.
I've never seen Santa Claus have that ability before. And my theory, my headcanon is that he killed his wife going down on her and has to start over and pick up the pieces by working at Target.
This
Oh
is
my
the
God, he
chosenification of Santa Claus.
Of Santa.
We don't need extra. We were given what we needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to add on.
I can't believe that he like flash froze Mrs. Claus's
Yeah.
pussy.
His
And,
tongue was stuck like
And then
pulling.
what you know what was even sadder? When he tried to heat her back up again, he just threw her in the deep fryer.
Oh,
And
no. It blew up the
and
whole
Santa's workshop exploded. It was very sad.
You gotta thaw that thing.
You have to
Thaw that thing.
have to thaw
Hawk
it
to
first.
thaw on that thing.
on the Hawk Santa thaw on that thing.
Hawk through
He has ice.
That's what you say
powers.
when your tongue is frozen.
When my tongue is frozen giving head to Santa Claus.
It's like Christmas Story, but your tongue is stuck to the frozen pussy.
Government needs to intervene and make sure that these unholy depictions of Santa Claus don't
Right.
hit the airwaves.
The Department of
Right.
Christmas Excellence.
It's blasphemous.
Dose.
Yeah, DOSE, the
Douche.
Department of Christmas Excellence, needs to step in.
We
I
we
think
need
that
to
would be-
stop
Send me your
lending
best
out
Christmas
Christmas to
memes.
anyone, you know.
It's true, yeah.
Well, it's just that topic that I think we should be exploring this season because, our Christmas is envied throughout the world. And there are many people who would, if given the opportunity, would rent our Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
They would borrow our Christmas.
That's the thing is like, you could be spending Christmas with your family and friends in the morning, but then, go like drive Uber at night or something, make a little extra cash. We can spend Christmas with our Americans in the morning, but let's rent it out to Canada or something in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's worth discussing. And, it's a topic like this that made us inspired to check out our first Christmas film of the 2024 Christmas season. This is A Borrowed Christmas, The Borrowed Christmas.
Yeah.
A Borrowed Christmas,
The borrowed.
The borrowed.
The Borrowed,
Christmas.
The Borrowed Christmas. And it's not the only reason, just because the concept of borrowing a Christmas titillating on its own, I know, but there was a name attached to this film that, let me just say, visions of sugar plums were dancing in my head when I saw this, and the name on the art for this film said Chip Rossetti. There's vomit on the sweater already. Chip Rossetti.
No Gramps in this movie,
No Gramps.
unfortunately, so don't get too excited. But
She-
this
she
movie was
Rossetti-
still...
She Rossetti on my chip till I Gramps.
This is still one of his better movies, I feel like.
It was so awesome. I too was a bit concerned
Yeah.
when I saw. So again, we love Chip Rossetti, and we'll give you a little rundown on some of his films in a sec. If that name doesn't ring a Christmas bell, ring a silver bell right away. But a big calling, pardon me, something that calls to me about Chip Rossetti's films is that they also tend to involve Donald James Parker, who is like one of the last great auteurs there will ever be. Like one of the last truly unique, like writerly voices.
Yeah.
So, and Chip frequently platforms and, directs Donald James Parker's work. And a lot of our favorite Chip Rossetti movies, like what we associate with him, are all starring and written by Donald James Parker. So I will admit I was a little skeptical clicking on a Chip Rossetti film that was, written by Chip himself. And sure, it was different, but I fucking loved it. I thought this was a wonderful movie. I would recommend it to any of our listeners.
Yeah.
What are some other of our favorite Chip Rossetti directed films?
Well, Gramps Goes to College, of course.
Gramps Goes to College, the Gramps franchise.
The Unexpected Bar Mitzvah.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Which this movie shares a notable cast member with. The male lead of this film, Jeff Rose, is also in the Unexpected Bar Mitzvah. He plays the Christian father, I believe. Or does he play like their teacher? I can't remember.
No, I think he's the Christian father.
Yeah, he's the Christian father.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. I'm reading the most recent Donald James Parker
Oh,
movie summary.
oh,
2024's Operation Unite. When Shy Guy Brent, here, this is relevant to the last movie we did. When Shy Guy Brent receives a heavenly communication that he is to marry the complete stranger he encounters in a restaurant, the challenge to find the courage to ask her out disrupts his peace of mind. Oh, what the fuck? When a chance opportunity for a gallant rescue leads to the perfect opportunity, Brent makes it to first base. This is the official synopsis on IMDb.
You know what? I do remember that there was somebody like trolling Donald James Parker on IMDb at one point.
Really?
Yeah, because I read one of his summaries for just like a romance movie he had, and it was like very horny and like clearly not written by him. This sounds like plausibly him, though.
Yeah, and then it says his chances of getting to second base are crushed when Caitlin finds out that Brent has beliefs that her own church and pastor father oppose. Maybe because he's Jews for Jesus? Is that?
Yeah, possibly. But anyway, this film sounds like another jaw clencher from Donald James Parker. And a lot of, Donald's films are so intriguing because they are on this like very niche political axis, as well as like being religious films, like The Unexpected Bar Mitzvah, which we were just discussing. I still think is one of the best films we've ever watched, because the moral of the film is it advocates for all Christians worshiping God in such a specific and arcane way that there can't be more than 100 people in the entire world who do it like that.
Yeah.
And it's just so hilarious to Julian just sent us the IMDb of another Donald James Parker film from 2020 called Hearts Are Trump.
Yeah,
we still got to cover that.
We do. I think we should.
We'll do it for, we'll do
4th.
it for. Oh, I was thinking for inauguration week.
Well,
that's
I'm
a good
going to be,
idea.
by the way, I should mention this now. I am going to be absent for January 6th. You guys will just have to do the pod without me that week.
Let's see. Chip Rossetti has a lot of great looking movies here.
We're
this is the thing.
storm the Capitol to remove Biden sooner.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm going to be, you know what? I'm going to peacefully protest the Capitol. I'm going to be planting coconut trees in the front lawn, getting tased to death by a Capitol security because I tried to bring a coconut into the rotunda.
Gonna raise $1 billion to plant coconut trees in protest.
That probably would have worked better than what they did. But
he did one more round. Franco Columbu.
Yes. And Kevin Sorbo, of course.
And Kevin
Oh
Sorbo
yeah, that's right.
Plays the boxing coach.
Donald didn't write that movie, but he's in it, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
Because Donald
in it.
wrote his own lines. He wrote his own lines, that's for sure. Because like when he speaks, he speaks in his like confusing mixture of like embedded metaphor that no one can follow.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie, I don't think is written by Donald, or else like we would know, because it would be about like wokeness or something.
Did we watch Gramps Shoes?
No, not yet. I would love to watch Gramps Shoes. But yeah, I mean, Chip Rossetti's films look great, you know, and this was an example of that. You know, Chip Rossetti has Chip Rossetti has a short film from 2013 called "The Online Breakup."
Cool.
Which seems really interesting. But yeah, you know, again, this is Christmas season, so you know our eyes are focused on. Hold on, I'm so sorry. 2017 Chip Rossetti film, The Colors of Emily. It's about a blind painter named Emily.
God.
It's so funny to me. I don't know why. It's so funny. It's like
It's a pretty good poster.
If I like, you could have guessed what it was about if I gave you like 5 guesses. Like I'm sorry I spoiled it, but like a film called The Colors of Emily, I would you sincerely try to be like, I don't know, blind painter. I would have been like, yes.
Wow, this is awesome looking.
But again, this is
Hitmaker.
The Borrowed Christmas. The Borrowed Christmas from 2014. Directed, written by Chip Rossetti. No Gramps, but still worth your attention. And the star of this movie, hold on, Julian just sent something else. Let's see what this is. What the fuck is this? The Colors of Emily? Is this just The Colors of Emily?
Yeah. Yeah.
One perfect shot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's doing Jackson Pollock shit. This bitch cannot see.
She does it
can't
all,
see.
though.
It's incredible.
She's just throwing shit on the canvas. She can't see. She doesn't know what it looks like. Yes, but The Borrowed Christmas, notable because it stars the very handsome Jeff Rose, who seems to have a bit of a Hollywood career.
He was in the Killing Reagan TV show. I looked him up because I thought he was doing a pretty good job in a couple of scenes, like a serviceable actor.
It's great.
Yeah.
He was in. Wait, maybe he was absolutely nowhere near Hollywood. He was in Let the Lion Roar.
Was he?
Okay.
Who
Apparently,
was he?
he plays young. Wait, it's a different movie called Let the Lion Roar.
Oh.
No, it's not. No, it's not. He plays young Derek. He plays the younger version of the director Derek Frank.
Oh,
That was so. It's
that's
I think it's like
awesome.
him when he gets revealed. I knew I recognized him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when he goes and like it's revealed to him that the cathedral he's in is like the same place where fucking Martin Luther did anti-Semitism or something.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, no, I now no longer believe that. No, he did some shit. He was in.
Actually, speaking of doing some shit, I was wondering if all the actors got paid for this movie. Like I almost
this
DM'd one of the actors on Instagram yesterday because I was like, I maybe they'll answer and tell me if they got paid for this movie. Just
I'm gonna guess they did it for
funny
free.
if they didn't. Okay.
I'm gonna guess they did it for free to give Gramps the perfect Christmas.
Yeah. He's in a movie called Night School
Night School
with Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish.
He was in
Oh,
a
there
movie
you
called
go.
The Legend of Zelda: The Hero of Time.
Wow.
But I
Okay.
don't know what this is. Is this like an official movie? Is this like game?
Maybe it's like
What the fuck is this?
Jeff Rose plays Isaac in Night School. I don't think this guy is really in Hollywood. I'm not gonna.
No, maybe not. But he's very talented,
Well,
and he's very
is in my
handsome. He looks
eyes.
like absolutely. He's not in Holly Weird. He's in Hollywood, and in our eyes. And as I said, I think he's very handsome. He kind of looks like a shrew,
Yes,
but in a very sort of like handsome, idealized way, like a Redwall character. You know.
yeah, he does look very rodent like.
I know, but I mean that. I mean that in a very as a compliment, of course. He plays John Dale. John Dale in The Borrowed Christmas. And the other star of this film is Sherry Morris, who plays the main character, Anne Weston.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Weston was in
The Reconciler.
Yes.
Whoa.
Was she the lead?
The fuck do these people like end up
She
in
was
this
in The Reconciler.
network?
She was Laurie. Was she the reporter?
I think so.
I think so.
I think she was the reporter.
How does somebody be like, I saw you in The Reconciler and I wanted you to for this movie?
I mean,
or they
that
just
might
like,
be
Well,
what
I think,
happened.
Do they
I
have
think
an
it went the
agent?
other way around. I think they saw her in this and were like, I need you in my
Need you.
movie, The Reconciler.
The Reconciler.
I mean, it would make sense because it's kind of like an insular scene, right? So
It's gotta be.
that's how like, fucking the Lamamans, we see actors and they're in like a Lamaman movie and
I
then
guess
they're
they all
in
go to the same film festivals.
Yeah.
Same like 20
That could
Christian
be.
film festivals. And
Oh,
meet
we
each
got to
other.
start going to those. We got to figure
I
out
know,
what
we
the biggest
do.
Christian film festivals
Yeah.
are.
Let's find out. Like because I would actually do that. I would actually do some live coverage. of that.
Especially, I just
maybe even fly
worked
somewhere.
my local big film festival this past weekend,
Yeah.
and so godless. I got to find some good Christian film festivals.
I know.
We
Yeah,
gotta go
let's
to
do that.
Christian Worldview Film Festival is in March 12th to 14th
Well, there you go.
in
Where?
Albany, Georgia.
Oh,
Okay, I can drive there.
really?
We'll fly out.
I think
Take
so.
the train.
I would fly somewhere to Albany, Georgia. I don't know, but
I've heard it's beautiful in March.
that's because God makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the plot of this film because it's
Yeah.
really fucking funny, and it is about the borrowed Christmas.
Yeah.
One thing that's fabulous about this film, I mean this completely sincerely, is that the movie just tells you the concept in the first scene.
Yes.
Like, lesson to DIY filmmakers, like, unfortunately we don't have the money to pull off a Hollywood look. And a lot of times people are going to, unfortunately, this is just the nature of the game. It's not a good thing. I'm just saying a lot of people are going to give up on your film pretty quickly
Yeah.
if you don't come out strong. This movie was just like, it's the borrowed Christmas.
Yes. Here's what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
You're basically told what is going to happen for the next 90 minutes, right within the first 5.
And what is that?
Well, I already forgot all the characters' names, but there's the woman and her son.
It's John Dale's the man
Yeah.
and Miss Weston.
John Dale enters Miss Weston's rental business.
She has a name, but I can't remember. All the maids call her Miss Weston the whole time.
So she runs a store that's business is a little slow during the holidays. Not entirely sure what this store is, but on the counter there is a sign that says "We rent anything." So
Anne Weston. Anne is her name.
yeah. So John Dale walks in. Apparently, he's a very famous local. He's a local legend, very rich man in town, and he. I put a little something special in
Did
there.
you
for
spike
you.
my drink? This is. I'm sorry. I'm so
A
sorry
little
to cut you
Christmas
off.
cheer.
This is a new formulation.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Of the
notes.
manga?
The note is much more.
White man tries
herbal.
new brew for the first time on
There's like it tastes like leaves now.
Really?
Mango. You hit the sharp mango, but it tastes like leaves. It's
the
quite good.
label is a lot darker on that one.
I know. I think they reformulated their whole line.
Interesting.
Anyway,
I like the look of that. The orange really pops on that.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Anyways, John Dale, local rich man, comes into the store and says he would like to rent a Christmas, please, with 3 children, a wife, a tree, and some presents. And it must begin the night before Christmas and conclude the evening of Christmas at midnight. Yeah.
He says,
very bizarre.
He says, make it look like an old Norman Rockwell painting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a beautifully decorated tree, Christmas presents, Christmas carols, the works, a wife, 5 children. Should the younger children be girls or boys?
How about 2 girls and a boy?
All right. 2 girls and a boy.
And I think that should do it. Although I would like to make one other request. I want this to look like a Norman Rockwell Christmas.
And of course, Anne Weston is up to the challenge.
Yeah.
Because she is dripping wet for this guy.
As she should be.
There's absolutely no reason for her to work Christmas and try to hire a bunch of actors.
From the
this movie
moment
was crazy.
From the moment he steps into her shop, it's like her glasses like slid down her nose, and she was like, "Let's fuck now."
Yep. And she can't like explain that to her younger male is that like her son or
I thought it was for the entire movie until like the end.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
No, I believe it's just supposed to be like her protege or like because
at the rental store.
At the rental store.
Her
Yeah,
apprentice
her
at the rent anything store.
The rent anything store.
So yeah, she makes him work all Christmas. And their plan is to hire local child actors to work Christmas, and hire an actress to play the wife. This is the movie.
Yeah,
I think there's maybe one little hiccup in the plan right at the beginning, but the next what you see is 90 minutes of a family having a Christmas, but none of them know each other. It's kind of experimental.
I know. It's like a Norman Mailer Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's like
instead of
Maidstone
Norman
Christmas.
Rockwell, they got Norman Mailer.
Oh my God! I mixed up the note I wrote to the Screen Actors Guild. I said you said a Norman Rockwell Christmas. I wrote down a Norman Mailer Christmas. That's crazy.
This movie would have been so interesting if it really was like a fully improvised movie with just like, a bunch of people who just met each other having to pretend to be a family.
I mean, it low key kind of was because half the lines of this movie were like people talking over each other.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I just think that it should be Christmas.
It was crazy how many times people just like fumbled through their lines and they kept it in there.
That is such a DIY filmmaker thing. Like
what?
DIY filmmakers are obsessed.
Take.
No one wants to learn their lines because it's too hard. So they're just like, you know what you need to say, just say it.
Yeah.
He only had 2
Everybody
days
does
to
that.
make it. He only had the orphans for 2 days to shoot.
Yeah.
Right.
So what happens
with
with
it.
this family? How do they get like all this shit together for Christmas? Miss Weston goes to his home to gather some intel on what's going on. And basically there's 2 live-in maids
And their
at
sisters.
Mr. Dale's house and their sisters. Keep in mind this whole time, every single thing, every single new bit of information, on top of the fact that this man came into this rental center and asked a woman to traffic humans so he could have a Christmas in his manor. Like everything this guy does, Anne finds attractive. He literally says, bring 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Rent me 5 children and a wife. I'm going to rent a freak off.
Yeah, we're gonna have silver freak off.
Yeah.
I want to add, just while we're discussing the logistics with which how Anne is going to create the borrowed Christmas. Got to be one of the best details of the whole movie is that at first she hires actors. What would you do? Okay, you're in a small but prosperous New England town or wherever they're supposed to be. I don't even remember. And you need actors to improvise for Christmas. Oh, I'll call the Actors Guild.
Yes.
So she
surely
gets on the
they'll have
phone.
some children who are willing to work Christmas Day.
She gets on the phone. She calls the Actors Guild, which is a place you go if you need an actor. If you say, I need an actor to play a mom and 3 kids.
Yep.
Well, what do? You phone up the Actors Guild and they say, yes, ma'am, we'll get on that right away.
Give me 3 kids and a wife.
But even at the Actors Guild, they can't do it. They tried and they can't do it.
No, there's obviously a lot of like bureaucratic hold up at the Actors Guild. That's another department that we should try to sort of make more efficient.
Very inefficiently run.
Yeah, they don't get in too far into it, but I'm not sure they have the true spirit of Christmas at the Actors Guild.
If Mr. Dale wants 3 children faking Christmas at his house, then Mr. Dale gets 3 children pretending to be his children at his house.
Yes. Yes, whatever he wants, he gets.
I don't give a shit about child labor laws. If we're not getting the actors, then we'll just go to the orphanage and get some actors there.
Which is exactly what they do. They decide, well, the actors bail at the last minute.
Yeah.
And the Screen Actors, not even the Screen Actors Guild, just the Actors Guild says, well, we couldn't find a mom. And the kids canceled because they actually didn't want to work on Christmas.
Yeah.
So they say, I know what we'll do. We'll go to the orphanage because Anne seems to have like a connect at the orphanage.
Yeah, they
she's familiar there.
Performed a charity show there or something a while ago. I think that was her connection, was that she has performed a play there before.
She's tight with the orphans.
She's tight with the orphans.
She fucks with the orphans heavy.
Needs to grab 3 of them for this rich man. How does she know? Like, how did she decide which ones?
I mean, I would have picked Willie, no question.
Yeah.
There was a kid in the lineup for the Borrowed Christmas. A
She's
boy
in
named
there
Willie.
making skull measurements, and measuring tape.
Yep.
I mean, Willie was the perfect choice. Like this was a really remarkable child.
Yeah.
I might just, we might just have to put a sound clip in because, like, just the way that he said things was genuinely so cute and unexpected. Like, he was like, struck me. Also, I was just scrolling idly through the cast of the film, and the actor who played Willie, his name is Chance Caden, which is a very, Zoomer name. And this is what he looks like now.
Whoa.
He's snatched. Like, he aged into this, like, this. He still has the long hair and the high forehead and the sort of like androgynous look. But
what's he so mad about?
Yeah, I don't know. He really has this sort of like intense look. Here, I'll screenshot it and send it to the group chat so Scott can see it because I was just like going through, I wonder who that is, and I was like, oh wow, Willie's all grown up. But
whoa,
yeah, Willie was awesome. That's how I would have picked him.
Willie
out of
Willie
the lineup
was
for
kind
sure.
of framed as like the almost like the bad kid too, just because he made a so part of being an actor on Christmas is that you get paid to be an actor on Christmas. And that's no exception for the orphans, except for that one of the orphans almost immediately is like, I'm not going to accept pay because I heard the rich man is lonely. And then Willie was like, well, I'm going to get paid.
Yeah, Willie's like, I'll still take the payment.
Yeah.
And the exciting thing about it is that you all are going to be paid like professional actors.
I'd like to do it for free.
Why would you want to do that, Jean?
Well, Jimmy said he thought Mr. Dale was lonely. I'd like to do it for him as a present.
But Miss Weston said he's rich.
Not all rich people are happy.
A little extra money would be nice for you, wouldn't it, Jean?
It would be nice just to be in a family, even if it's only for a day.
I'd rather get paid.
Like, girl,
Yeah, take the money.
Yeah.
take
Come
the
on.
money.
Yeah.
That was such a funny.
He said
funny
money
scene.
is not a thing. He starts
Money
off
is no
by
object.
handing. Did y'all see how much the check was for? It was very fast.
I did not.
I did. It was for $10,000.
Yes,
$10,000.
To borrow a Christmas.
That's wild. And in the memo he wrote, for my special friend
For travel.
for travel.
For being a good
for
kid.
sure.
Yes, I honestly thought 10,000 was a little low, but that was
Yeah.
the start off. That was the start off price. That was the base cost for a borrowed Christmas.
How much would you what would you say your rate is for being borrowed for Christmas?
As an actor
And
or
this
as an
is-
organizer, as a producer?
As an actor, and you bear in mind you're working the night before Christmas. You're working Christmas Eve and Christmas
And
Day.
Christmas, yeah.
I would do it for $5,000.
Okay.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that's like my
half the
honest
budget.
answer.
We're spending half the budget on one adult male child.
Also, like
Mhm.
you have to wear a condom,
Yes.
and like
at all times.
like I prefer if you not come in my face, but like whatever, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna. Which gets to a
Yeah.
point I have later
$2
about.
grand you watch me masturbate. $5 I fuck you.
Yeah,
10 grand
This
you
is-
can fuck me.
This whole
Exactly,
setup,
something like
even
that.
the way he walked in and asked for this was like, this is a weirdly specific fetish that you go to a different town for every year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mentioned at the beginning of this call that there's one phrase in my notes that I wrote in bold font
Yeah.
on my notes app, and it says, "This is all a sexual fetish."
Yes. I'm surprised we didn't see like the bones of the last year's family in the basement at some point. And they're like, oh, the tinsel's downstairs.
Miss Anne goes to grab the tinsel.
Especially when they said that okay, this fucking guy, this lady finds this so endearing. He has not celebrated Christmas since his parents passed away. They don't say when that was,
Right.
but it sounds like it happened a long time ago,
Yeah, sort of.
or maybe not. I don't know. His parents were in an accident, which killed the father and left his mother invalid.
Well, what kind of an accident?
A car accident,
Oh,
right? Did they even say?
Yeah, a car accident.
It was a car accident. Okay.
What of that?
It was
Yeah.
a car accident.
It's very
His
sad.
mother was a vegetable, as graciously as I can put it. And that sucked all the Christmas cheer out of him. He no longer got delivered a single oatmeal raisin, or as they call it, raisin oatmeal cookie, delivered to him on a silver platter on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Are raisin oatmeal cookies different from oatmeal raisin cookies? Like the
No idea.
majority of the cookie is raisin. There's just a little
No
bit
idea.
of oatmeal.
All I know is that the fucking one of the maids comes in and says, I made chocolate chip and oatmeal raisin cookies for the kids. And then, what's her name? Miss Weston?
Anne.
Anne says, well, what's Mr. Dale's favorite cookie? And she said, well, he loves raisin oatmeal. Well, why didn't you make him one of those? It's so fucking psycho. Everything about this movie.
It really is. Just looking through some quotes. I meant to say this when we were on the subject of the orphans doing it for free. But the direct quote from the movie is the young woman saying, we might have to put the sound clip in because the whole scene is so funny. She says, I'd like to do it for free. And then at one point, I can't remember who says this, but I wrote down what I believe is a direct quote. Not all rich people are happy. It's like, you can say that again. So
yeah, like it's a 1-to-1. Like, well, he's not happy, so I won't charge.
Right.
like charge double. What are you doing?
Exactly. I mean,
Who was the guy who he was talking to?
that was his brother.
That was his brother
I
from
believe it's
California?
supposed to be. I could be wrong about that. Because
Nobody
at
ever-
one point he's talking to a man and he's saying like, frankly, I'm jealous of you. Like you have a Norman Rockwell Christmas
Yeah.
every year. And I don't. That's why I have to
Rent a family.
That's why I have to rent a family.
He has
No one
to.
at any point like points out how insane this is.
Not once.
That is the brilliance of this particular type of Christian mind.
Yeah.
Is that like aesthetics are more important than anything else, and
Yeah.
how you get to those aesthetics does not matter.
Yeah, and
I
think-
imagine him like
yeah.
the day, like the week before, he's going through like, it's like the movie Shame. It's like he's just like going into random clubs, hooking up with whoever he can. He's just like feels so empty.
Yeah.
He's like just doing blow every night. He's just like,
Yeah.
He needs the
I have
Christmas
so much
experience.
money. I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
He went and he paid for a Christmas experience.
Yeah.
It's like, remember when like in the first Trump administration, remember how nice that was? When he said, like, every day we're going to have a 4th of July, or every month we're going to have a 4th of July. I think he said it again this time too. And there was going to be like a military parade down
I
like
sort of remember that. I
through
was
the
looking forward
Capitol
to
like
that, yeah.
once a month. And it's like
Yeah.
that the idea that that is like just seeing that is going to like
remember what I was gonna
inspire
say.
everybody.
Yeah.
Like just people seeing that I'm having a Norman Rockwell painting, despite the fact that like no one ever comes in or out of my house,
Right.
and I'm always seen alone.
Yeah, if we aim toward the aesthetics, that is enough.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that's a big lesson from these movies. And what I wanted to say about that, having to do with aesthetics and stuff, is like, oh yeah. So I think a big thing with these Christian movies is that because they exist in like the Christian snow globe world, there's no somebody's insane actions or motivations could never be the result of like a deep sickness in themselves. Like this guy, what's his name? John Dale.
John Dale.
John Dale, like he just walks into the shop and he's just like, I want to rent a child.
Yep.
And everyone's like, well, he's a lonely man. His life looks perfect, but he doesn't have it all.
He's got 10 grand.
Yeah, and he's got 10 grand. He wants to rent a wife and kids for the night. And that's it. You know, he has the that's just all there is to it. Again, because it's existing in this kind of like frozen aesthetic.
Maybe he's doing some
universe.
sort of like Sound of Freedom type sting,
Ooh.
pretending to be like a guy who rents Christmases, but he's actually trying to bust a human trafficking ring operating outside of this.
Out of the orphanage that's connected to the We Rent Anything
Yeah.
store.
She was actually running a Wayfair.
Yeah, she's the one. I love the idea of a We Rent Anything store that has a direct line to the local orphanage. It's so scary.
Crazy. It's also just like so like fucking Looney Tunes that it would like have a sign that's like, we rent anything. And it's like, oh, I'd like to rent a family. Oh,
Yeah, they should have
geez. Mr. Dale's here and he wants a family. He should have should have had the Three Stooges play as kids.
Well, they should have been Okay, it's like the beginning of a Three Stooges episode.
Yeah.
We open with a scene. It's like, but who are we going to get to pretend to be the family? Cut to the Three Stooges out on the street asking everyone for a job.
Yes.
And then they run into the party. Like, that would have been the perfect movie.
Yeah.
Like, incredible. The Three Stooges are so back. Everyone loves the Three Stooges. Just another quick like aesthetic point. This goes with. I mean, the movie just comes right out and says it with the invocation of Norman Rockwell. I have in the past couple months really developed an appreciation for Norman Rockwell's work. Like, I started following all these like painter like bot accounts on Twitter that just like post paintings by different painters like once an hour. And now it's my whole feed is just like different paintings that I like. It's very silly, but I follow a Norman Rockwell account and like his illustrations are amazing. Like, they're so much better. I think people put him in the same category as like Kincaid.
Yeah.
But like Norman Rockwell's stuff, like, yeah, he's evoking this kind of like forgotten, the old timey like white Americana that's like sort of precious and like kitsch. But in my personal opinion, Rockwell's illustrations have way more depth. They're not fascist like Thomas Kincaid.
Yeah.
Like Thomas Kincaid is like we should destroy the whole earth to have a cottage surrounded by flowers.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like Norman Rockwell is just kind of like, this reminds me of the kids in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
Like, I do think that Norman Rockwell is kind of like, fascist trad coded nowadays, because people look back and think like, oh, this is like a type of white shining America that could be. But knowing nothing about the man, I really do not get the impression that that is like the point of his art, as opposed to like Thomas Kincaid, which is like, we will create an aesthetic like psychic torture machine that will siphon money from. We will also create a pyramid scheme to go with it that will like siphon money from like working class Americans.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't just straight up start an MLM where he teaches you how to paint Thomas Kincaid's as well.
So he did have that's like how his studio operated for
really
most of his life. Yeah. He had like a team of people who would paint Thomas Kincaid paintings.
Sure.
And he oversaw the operation.
Sure, but I think Scott is saying like to teach people how to be like a Mary Kay makeup salesman or like a Cutco knife salesman. It's like it's like an art school where you learn how to like paint Kincaid and then like hustle Kincaid.
Yeah, so he has people like basically distributing things all over the world what he makes money off of still.
Oh man, someone screenshotted, like, oh wait, hold on, Julian's laughing at something.
This is so irrelevant to what we're talking about, but I was typed in right to Chat GPT, write the plot of a Christian movie starring the Three Stooges, and then I typed in a prompt that said, write the plot of a movie where the Three Stooges convert to Islam at the end. And I was just like skimming through the thing, and it was very funny.
Oh my god, this is so
That's
funny.
awesome.
I'm gonna skip to the paragraph 4.
Yeah.
As the story unfolds, the Stooges find themselves unwittingly involved in helping resolve conflicts that arise within the community. When a misunderstanding between a local Muslim family and some non-Muslim neighbors escalates, the Stooges, despite their chaotic nature, end up being in the right place at the right time to diffuse the situation. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
In one particularly touching scene, Imam Ali sits down with the Stooges to explain the core tenets of Islam, the importance of submission to the will of God, Allah, the value of peace, kindness, and charity, and the concept of brotherhood among all people. Yes, that's right, folks. Mo, Larry, and Curry have said the Shahada in front of one witness, Shemp, and they have seen the light of Islam.
Wait, Julian, can you update it slightly so that they convert to Islam on Christmas Day?
Ooh, yeah.
That's so
And make
good.
it a Christmas movie.
The Three Stooges have bowed their heads out of gratitude, not obligation, as the local imam leads a prayer of gratitude on Christmas. When they're locked in there because a blizzard hits the city. On Christmas morning, the Stooges return to the community center with a completely transformed outlook on life. They apologize for their earlier selfishness and mischief and join Imam Rashid and the rest of the community in a special holiday prayer. The Imam explains the central tenets of wisdom, focusing on the importance of faith, submission to God's will, and showing kindness to the others. In the final scene, the Stooges participate in a modest but joyful Christmas celebration. They have, through their comedic chaos, discovered something far greater than any holiday gift or tradition, the value of helping others, humility, and peace that comes with faith.
Volume Imam Rashimp.
It's beautiful.
I was going to say, just speaking of pyramid schemes, you know that guy Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
The
he's awesome.
famous right,
Sure.
yeah. Famous but vulgar, men's rights activist guy.
Yeah, I think he's rented a few Christmases too.
He's gotten in trouble
think
for
of
that.
it.
Someone screenshotted, he has this app that you sign up for and, learn lessons of, life. And it's like a life coach app, basically.
Yeah.
It has courses. And someone screenshotted one and it was hustling, money hustling. And the classes were mowing lawns, shoveling snow, raking the
That's
leaves.
literally what.
What the fuck?
Well, that's what. A long time ago, I prompted ChatGPT to give me a plan to come up with $100 now.
Yeah.
And it was literally go ask your friends if you can mow their lawns for money. Ask your parents if you could borrow money. It's shit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just they were help me teach a class on hustling for.
So
also,
basically,
by
just
the way,
begging for money.
if you're paying a class to teach you how to work really hard to make money, you are, number one, never going to have money in your life. You need to pay for a class that tells you how to work as little as possible and make money.
That's really good.
You want to be fucking working all the time? You damn fool.
You're so right. You've never been more right.
This is the thing. This is why hustle people will never be happy.
Yeah, they're being kept down by the person who's teaching them how to be a hustle person.
Yes.
That person's just trying to create more drones who are spending all their time
exactly.
And then when you have that
value of hard work.
mentality, when you're not doing something that gets you money, you're just wasting time thinking of other ways to try to spend time getting money.
Exactly.
Right.
They're falling for the oldest trick in the book. They got fucking Andrew Tate out there being like, oh, you got to get up every morning and paint this white picket fence. Because every minute you're not painting this picket fence, there's someone else out there painting a picket fence white.
Needing to get money lives rent-free in my head. And that's the right way to live.
Just sell your sperm and cum and blood.
What does Jesus say about hustle culture? Jesus would, I don't know. I'm just writing a fucking, I was going to say thought catalog essay that shows you how old I am. Oh, just looking through my notes, some random thoughts. I wrote in my notes, this is like a VR sim for a dying brain. That's what this movie really reminded me of. Because more so, and that could describe a lot of Christmas movies, but this one was so nice because it did the Hallmark Channel thing of it never really dialed into almost any bad feelings, and if it did, it was for 10 seconds, just to give the semblance of drama. But yeah, this one just really knocked it out of the park. It was just money is no object. We'll buy some orphans.
It was
put them around the Christmas tree.
Yeah. It worked. It totally worked. His idea
totally
worked. I mean, it felt like his whole plan was to just fucking bed Annie.
Yes. I wrote in my
Which he
notes.
ultimately did.
When the Christmas actually started and it clearly turned into just an aggressive role-playing section, there was a point where they were both sitting on the couch, and I wrote in my notes, he is going to fuck the shit out of her later. Because that is just what it was all working up to. Obviously, it was this elaborate sexual fantasy where he has to get just completely immersed in the scenario to get into it. And, just like it was a sexual fantasy for John Dale, it was also a fantasy for us. Our last thoughts has, we're given the morphine and, put our favorite program on. And, we just go out with a little glint of Christmas in our eyes. Like that was what this movie was to me.
It was kind of like making the Bob Revere character into a stage play, but still a movie. Where he fantasizes about being the Bob Revere character, the perfect patriarch. And they acknowledge that he should be the perfect patriarch and immediately work to fulfill that wish for him.
Yeah, this really feels like it is something when you are sentenced to prison in 3 years for your political beliefs, like they're going to put a device on your head that just like lets you live out this movie.
Alhamdulillah. I'll just say inshallah. I was trying to do the harder one. Alhamdulillah. But I hear what you're saying. If only I can be so lucky. What else did I want to point out? Another thing that I thought was really funny. First of all, the maids were just so fucking funny.
Yeah.
The two sisters, because like
Bridget and Martha.
Yeah, I couldn't remember Bridget's name. And they were just so funny because, they were supposed to be like a little comical, and like they themselves were sisters, but they'd also been effectively in John Dale's family because they've been serving the family for so long. They're older than him. They were the housekeepers when he was a boy, and, now he's a man and his parents have died, and they still take care of, they're paid to take care of him. They wear like they wear French maid uniforms. They're like older women. And one of the sisters, like, I don't think this is intentional, but like they kind of just wrote her like she has a disability or something.
Yeah.
Like she's like an overgrown child, like not extremely, but somewhat, like, but one thing that was very funny about her was that like she objects. Okay, so John Dale has spent $10,000 blanket fee for Anne to organize Christmas, and that involves buying gifts for the actors. Even though they're actors, they all get gifts because it's Christmas. So they're supposed to go out Christmas shopping for the actors, and Martha is like really against this. She's like, but it just doesn't seem right. And they're like, oh, come on. It's like, it's just for the play, it's how, what more weird is that than anything else we've been doing, basically. But then when the actors cancel and they are actually now buying the gifts for children from the orphanage, Martha is overjoyed. Again, that's nicer than... I don't know why it's better to do psychological warfare to orphans than it is to hire some brats from the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah.
To ship them out to traffic them to your town for Christmas.
Especially like this guy seemingly has enough money that he could just like do a Christmas at the orphanage. Like he is technically an orphan as well. I feel like a better message would be like, you know what? This isn't Christmas. I'm here. I'm not like, none of you are my actual family. And afterwards, you're just going right back to the orphanage. So you know what? Why don't we go down to the orphanage and throw a fantastic Christmas for everyone?
Julian, this is not about them.
Yeah, you're right.
It's about him.
About him. Yeah. You're right. In some ways, when you look at it that way, this movie is extremely realistic. It's about a bunch of people exploiting children and innocent people to like leech money off of an insane rich person, and like doing nothing to like allow him to push you out of his orbit.
Yeah, and to fulfill their fantasy of being the most important person at the center of
yes,
community or castle or whatever.
This is just an incredible allegory for the Trump administration. She is essentially Laura Loomer
Yes. Doing a political cartoon with this stills from this movie, just write in word art writing like Laura Loomer, like Donald Trump, the Department of Government Efficiency or whatever the fuck.
He brings her a crazy idea and she goes, okay, great. How about this too?
Let's do it.
Yeah. This movie was a masterclass in yes-anding.
Yeah.
From, Anne just going along with this like sexual perverts every fantasy, to the frankly brilliant and enthusiastic performance by all the orphans in the end. Mm-hmm. They were serving Christmas. Like they really did it. And also like the teen boy from the shop, he was like really leaning into his part and kind of being this like, the eldest teen son, sometimes a man, sometimes a boy. It was very funny when they brought him out in like the full pajamas, like the Norman Rockwell, like Christmas pajamas. Imagine if you had to do that with your family, if you had to wear like dress. Yeah. Like,
and he was still in his like full suit as if like he just came back home from the office or whatever his job was.
He was kind of living for it. He'd been wanting to do this. He's in the movie, they're painting him as sort of like reluctantly being involved with the scheme, but like he was living for this shit. Like he's a young dandy. He has like a YouTube channel where he reviews different like pipes and stuff.
He reviews different families.
I spent a week in 52 different families.
This movie was a lot closer to Solo than A Christmas Story, I think.
Yeah, similar to Solo, it's about
children being trafficked to a remote estate.
For the entertainment,
they have to debase themselves for the elite.
Yeah, in a community that's like an isolated. They're isolated by living in like a grand mansion in a bucolic part of the world. Yeah, there are lots of cinematic parallels with Solo,
especially when he has the orphans bend over and he shines flashlights into their assholes.
Yeah, I did find that to be very degenerate.
Yeah,
I found that to be quite shocking.
This is my mother and father did this to me every Christmas.
Yes, I liked when he put the raisin oatmeal cookies on the table and said "manja, manja." I found that to be quite shocking. I did.
It's a provocative film.
Provocative,
Chip
yes.
Rossetti is a provocateur.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody stabs him to death on a beach in a robbery gone wrong. God forbid.
A gay prostitute that may or may not have been hired by local leftist organizers does him in. I think those are my biggest observations. The carolers were really funny because they were very bad. I was thinking it'd be funny to subject our listeners by pasting that in for the first 3 minutes of this episode, just having to listen to the whole carol.
I
put
wrote
it in
that
right
note
here.
in my thing.
All right, how about Silent Night, everybody? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round on virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. That was beautiful, children.
That was one of the most like
They're so bad.
atonal. Yeah, it was crazy.
They're so bad.
It was brutal.
It was pretty brutal. But one moment I liked was when it zoomed in on the Christmas ornament and they started being animated.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. Good.
That was,
effect.
I was like, whoa. I was in my apartment alone, like the type of guy who borrows Christmas. And I said out loud, "Whoa," when it got to that moment. It was very
Cinematic journey.
psychedelic.
Yeah, he was tripping. Eggnog was spiked.
It was like Climax, but at a Christmas party with eggnog.
That's just, yet another way. This is like Salo. He's drugging these kids, and they're tripping out.
Subjecting them to psychological torture.
It's all part of the deal. It's better than anything they would have gotten at the orphanage. They're lucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the orphanage, they would have had 0 Christmas. They probably do something for the kids.
When the rich man from the castle on the far edge of town rolls in his carriage to the orphanage to pick out the 3 children that he will be taking home for Christmas.
Yeah.
He's like, "You got any blonde ones? All right, I'll take all 3 of them."
They call it borrowing Christmas. It was a Slavic tradition where the local baron would come into town and select 3 children to be his live-in, you know what.
Children.
He would
Beautiful
he would
children.
hire his
Obedient children.
He would hire his adult adopted son to go into town and make Venmo transactions with local orphans.
How does the film end? I think people are dying to know.
Yeah.
Happily.
Yeah. They get married. Or engaged. Right? What happens?
Yes. No,
I kinda
he
stopped paying
says
attention.
after he gets a whole family bought and paid for in 2 days and at an ultimately discounted rate. And then he says, "Can I
Will
rent
you
this
be
family
the Ghislaine
forever?"
to my Jeffrey?
Will you be the Ghislaine to my Jeffrey? And she says, "I thought you'd never ask, but I also was pretty sure you would." And he says something like, "Let me try to earn the right to have this Christmas forever."
I'm asking you to let me earn the right to have this Christmas forever.
And she's just
Bro,
like,
we need
"I've
AI
never been
writing
wetter."
these movies.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. We need AI to write these movies. I'm tired of people saying that it will be bad for society.
Yeah, it would be fun to see them to see the things actually acted out. I think is more compelling. But yeah, I mean this movie felt very lines like that. I mean, I do believe that Chip, is a genius.
He
So
thinks
he
he's
wrote them
writing like
himself.
Shakespeare or something, and he
know.
writes stuff like that.
But yeah,
Will you afford me the opportunity to make this Christmas last forever?
Yeah, he really thought he was cooking with that, and he was, frankly.
Yeah.
But not only does he get a wife, as we said, not only does he get a wife out of the deal,
For the
he
low
also
cost
chooses
of $10,000.
Yeah, he chooses to adopt those very orphans that he spent Christmas with.
Amazing.
Incredible.
It's pretty cool to do a dress rehearsal of your
life.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can rent to purchase or whatever.
Yeah.
I was wondering, so we looked into the fact that there are rental companies in Japan that let you rent a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And at least on the Wikipedia, it suggested that there's ones that you could just continue on with indefinitely.
Yeah, that interview with the guy. What is that? Apparently Werner Herzog did a movie about one of these agencies.
Oh, really?
Oh.
But it
Was it a
wasn't
short?
No, it was a feature length that didn't have the best reviews. Family Romance LLC, a 2019 film by Werner Herzog.
2019. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, a rental
what?
family service. This is from a Wikipedia article. A rental family service. A professional stand-in service provides clients with actors who portray friends, family members, or coworkers for social events such as weddings, or to provide platonic companionship. And and Julianne, you posted a quote in the chat, which is the most Japanese thing ever.
So most of this article is about a company called, actually it's a few, but they go into depth of this company called Family Romance, which does a lot of these things. Apparently it's big in helping people save face. Like you basically rent families to show up at your wedding, so it looks like you're popular. It's all it's for people who that's like very important to in their culture, to appear like successful.
Yeah.
A traditional idea of success. But here's a quote from Ishii Yuichi, founder and head of Family Romance, 2017. In 2017, this is so fucking funny.
It's the most
it's so
possibly the most
sad,
Japanese
but
thing
also
ever
funny.
said.
I played a father for a 12-year-old with a single mother. The girl was bullied because she didn't have a dad, so the mother rented me. I've acted as the girl's father ever since. I am the only real father that she knows. If the client never reveals the truth, I must continue the role indefinitely.
First of all, no, but go on.
If the daughter gets married, I have to act as a father in that wedding, and then I have to be the grandfather. So I always ask every client, are you prepared to sustain this lie? It's the most significant problem our company has. Which makes me think that when the mom stops paying him, he's going to stop being the dad, not like...
Well,
he can't ever reveal the truth.
But I love that.
So cynical.
I don't.
Sorry.
I don't mean to racially generalize, but it is like so Japanese of him to invent the problem. That's like, unfortunately, the downside of my service is now we are locked in a lifetime obligatory exchange. And it's like, I don't really think that's true, but if that makes you feel better, then
Also, the kid was 12 when you got hired. It wasn't like she did know there was 12 years of her life where she was very aware she did not have a father.
It's so funny though. I mean, hey, listen, if that's what everyone's paying for, then good for them. But like, it is just so funny that he's just like, I am the only father she's ever known. Like that was like that fantastic Night Scoop segment we watched about the fastest ramen delivery in Japan, and they secretly timed this like very passionate like teen udon delivery driver who just kind of looked like any just like long-haired teen would look working a delivery job, but he fucking kills it at the deliveries. And they secretly time him. He delivers to an office in less than a minute that lives nearby. And then
crazy.
When they ask him why, he says, "For the love of udon."
I want that passion in my life.
I know.
And if I have to do a racial reassignment surgery to become Japanese, I will do it. I am prepared for that commitment.
I mean, it just feels like it's imbued in their culture. So if you're going to, first of all, have a culture capable of producing like a family rental company.
Yes.
Which is already insane and amazing. But then like for the proprietor to say, I must sustain this lie for the child's entire life. It's like, I don't know, you guys. You guys should all lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
But they can't, and that's amazing.
Based on a very superficial enjoyment of Japanese culture and lifestyle, I gotta say it seems like they have no problems.
Yeah.
And I want to be a Japanese man who's the best whittler in the land, simply for the love of whittling.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. But you know what? We could be the best American
podcasters.
Whittler. Yeah, for the love of podcasting.
That's why we do it.
For the love.
I mean, that must be why we do it when you look at our Patreon numbers, right?
Yeah. Hey, you're disrupting my immersion. I've rented you two.
Yeah, what the heck?
Well, you turned around.
We can only
and rented
find
all
so
these
many
Patreon
orphans, Julian.
people.
If you could help us find more orphans.
Yeah. We're actually operating at a massive loss because of all the orphans we have to pay to sign up for the Patreon.
And listen to every episode.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Get those numbers up. Can I have the nitrous today? It's been bouncing around in my head all day.
Since we talked earlier.
Yeah.
Since I begged Julian for a new brews, and he responded by copy-pasting me the entire Milo Yiannopoulos response to Kanye asking for nitrous, which is like completely fair. I think I should like hire a boyfriend for my next event and like see how it goes.
I feel like you don't have to hire somebody. You could just say like, what's like what event are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of just want the experience of it. Like, I'm talking just like for my friend's next like party or whatever.
Just to try it.
It's so tough to just ask somebody to just be like a platonic date.
Yeah,
to
can you be my date? People used to do that all the time. I don't feel like people really do that anymore.
Like opposite sex or like, same.
I mean, if I was going to an
persuasion.
event, like if I was going to like a premiere or whatever, and like I would just like ask one of my friends to go with me, assuming I was single, but like for a party or whatever, like that's not something that people do, really.
It'd be tough.
Interesting.
It's tough because I feel like people are so in their head. Our generation is so in their head.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You ask somebody who, if you asked another gay man to go to an event, 9 times out of 10, they're going to think it's a date.
Right.
And that's just general. That's just how people are.
Right.
It's really hard to just be like, hey, I got an extra thing. Same if I were to ask, a woman.
Right.
A straight woman. If you can find one these days. That's the first problem.
Yeah.
You got to rent one.
So rent one. Yeah, just say to someone, I will give you $150 if you come to this Thanksgiving dinner with me.
Literally, I mean, I've learned recently actually
pretend to be my boyfriend.
Whatever. There's really a shortage of straight men.
Yeah.
That's the actual problem.
We're all taken.
Yeah. All the
two
good
out of
ones
two
are
of this
taken.
podcast are taken right now.
Yeah, all the good ones are taken, and I know that because recently I wore a shirt to Zebulon that says "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20," and more women hit on me than that ever happens when I go out to an event.
Including one who asked to go back to your apartment.
Yes, after being nice, but giving her no indication of like sexual, didn't playfully touch her shoulder or like what, like did nothing of the sort, she has to come back to my place. And it made me think that I decided, I don't know if this is true, I just hypothesized that the problem was simply that there's just such a dearth of heterosexual men in the Los Angeles nightlife scene that women are literally looking for a man with a shirt that says "I'm not gay" on it, and they're like willing to suspend their disbelief that like anyone who would wear such a shirt sincerely is like a psycho. They literally just need to see it spelled out because, and I felt terrible for straight baiting. I assumed that it would be painfully obvious, that I was gay for wearing that shirt, but it actually was not.
I did not mean
at
to
all.
lead you on with my silly joke.
My shirt that said "I'm not gay" on it. But
didn't you have somebody approach you who was like, "Oh, I have a friend who has that same shirt"?
I met a young man who said he a straight man, owned that same shirt, but he was always afraid to wear it out. And he was very funny. I liked him actually. And he told me that he ran it by both of his gay friends. He was like, I have 2 gay friends. He was like, I ran it by both of them, and they both thought it was really funny. But whenever I mentioned it to one of my straight friends, they were like, "You cannot wear that out." And I was like, "That is really cool. Like that cuts to the heart of the gay. We love irony, don't we, folks?"
Yeah.
But
that's why they call you Irony Man.
Yeah, one of our straightest men. But anyways, we borrowed a Christmas.
We borrowed a Christmas for a long borrowed month.
Yeah, I'd like to borrow some time.
Yeah. Well,
I have such a fucking brain rot now. All I can think about is knee surgery tomorrow. Have you seen this meme?
No.
Have either of you seen this meme?
No, actually. What is that?
Just fucking
meme me up.
Let's review this fucking movie.
Yeah, we
I'll
can look
explain
at the meme
off the
afterward.
air.
We can
It's
do
like
that
a
too.
meme
To our
for like
listeners,
children.
No, you don't get to hear about the meme.
Any other important details from the movie to mention before we review? I think we covered it quite well, but I just want to give
we
everybody
did.
the
I mean,
last-
it's pretty
last chance.
straightforward. A rich man rents a family, and it goes perfectly. The end.
Yeah. There was a really funny part. The end. There was a really funny part where the kids begged him to read the Christmas story, and it was just like the story of Christmas from the Bible, as like dry as it possibly could be, including like details about like the first census of the Roman Empire and all this stuff. And they're like sitting there like smiling ear to ear as they're listening to the emperor ordering the first census of the Roman Empire that led to the discovery of Jesus.
That's their job.
They
nailed it.
They're good. Good at their job. They're good at their job.
Some of the scenes too, I would say that there were no unnecessary scenes in the movie, but that a number of the scenes went on longer than most directors or writers would have the scene go on for. In particular, when he's saying goodbye to all to everyone in a row, it just
very
kept
sad.
I was like, they're gonna do all of it. He's gonna say a slow goodbye to every single, all 5 kids, the wife, the maids for some reason. It was funny too that when she was getting the presents, she was getting presents for the maids too, but it was put forth in a way where it's like, oh, you never get your maids Christmas gifts.
Right. I guess so. I mean, to be fair, I guess they just don't really do Christmas. He just doesn't really do Christmas. So
yeah,
therefore,
too touchy. It's too hard.
So right. So therefore, not even, there's no reason to buy maids gifts because there's no Christmas, basically.
That's true. I need to give them the benefit of the doubt.
They did discuss it like it was a novel concept.
Yeah.
To buy gifts for your maids. Let's rate the damn thing.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say yours already, Julian? And I forgot.
No.
Yeah. What do you rate this film?
I actually ran out of stuff from my notes to say during the review, so now I'm screwed.
I'm gonna give this 2 out of 2 rented days of Christmas, for $10,000. This was a great movie, another wonderful Chip Rossetti movie. As good as I could have imagined it. When it doesn't have Gramps, I truly mean that every scene was necessary for this to be here. Some of them probably could have been cut down a little bit, but it was just part of the magic of being stuck in a scenario where you're like performing a chamber drama for a traumatized rich man who is used to having his every need fulfilled. It was great. I really liked it. I'll watch again at some point.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to give this 3 children, a wife, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Ooh.
All delivered to my estate on Little St. James Island, where we will be performing the Christmas story for several powerful men in governments around the world. And the whole thing will be videotaped via cameras installed in each bedroom.
I like that. It's like an immersive experience.
It really is. Yes.
That's very
Do not
intriguing.
touch the actors. Do not remove your mask. The actors will touch you. You will not touch them. Yeah.
Fair enough. I love this movie. I agree with Scott. I think I'll probably rewatch this one again around Christmas. Maybe if we do a Christmas stream or something, I think we should probably show this one because it's just super fun and it goes down easy, which is a huge, compliment for the films that we usually watch. Got to give this one 10,000 out of 10,000 smackaroos. The starting rate Christmas experience. You know what? Anyone listening who is missing out on Christmas in their lives, why don't you DM us on the Boys Bible Study Patreon and just let us know your budget, and we can tell you what kind of Christmas we can make for you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'd be happy to.
Yeah. Well, thanks to everyone for listening. I would encourage, if you would like to listen to even more Boys Bible Study every single week, please consider supporting us on patreon.com/Boys Bible Study. We're trying to put together the funds to borrow our own Christmas, and we could use your contribution. Special thanks to our extra generous listeners on the $20 tier: Nicole, Marissa, Jeff, Rhett, and Mark. They picked us out of the orphanage. Also, our outro song is Oh My God by Mary. So from all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, we would like to say, peace be with you.
And also here, with my tongue stuck on the cock.
Willie,
What?
what about our Christmas? Did you enjoy it?
It's been okay, I guess. In fact, forget about paying me for the part.
You don't want the money?
Nah, this has been fun.
Aw,
You can forget about paying me too, Miss Weston.
you too?
If we made Mr. Dale happy, let's just say it was our Christmas present to him.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me. Every day